Okay, hanging the gates. This is how I like to hang pairs of gates. I like to establish one upper hinge and probably go ahead and bolt it. And then I like to clamp the two gates together to make them look right. Get the height right and the reveal right. And then the first gate needs to be leveled side to side. And so finish up these hinges. The bottom's going to have to be shimmed a little bit. And then whatever happens over here is what happens. Don't worry about the hinges. You got to make the gates line up. If the hinges aren't perfect, it's okay. So, looks pretty good. Should be through these hinges in an hour. Gates are hung. They look good. Fence is not quite finished. I ran out of boards. The other fence is finished. So we need to do some painting and drill a hole for the slide bolt and put the latch on. I ended up having to shim the hinges on this side. I got 2 washers on this one, and the one on the bottom I cut a fiberglass square plate. This one on this bottom, 1 washer on each one, and this one's tight. And it fits good. Everything's good. Swings good. It's all good. This is the frame that goes in the recess of the fence, and I want to make a kind of a similar arrangement of infill, except for 2 differences. One, it's really short and really wide, so if I put an 1.5 inch pipe here to try to make it look like a branch or something, it's going to look all out of scale. So I'm going with some smaller diameters. I got some 5/8 and I got some 1/2, and this is all solid stock. So instead of cutting it bevels and bending it and re-welding, I'm just heated with the torch and bending them. And 2, there won't be any support across the top. So I'm not sure about cantilevering these things straight up, so I think I will make the branches overlap each other and kind of weld them all together to make like a big grill. So at this stage I was pretty far along. Most of them I'm going to have to add on to because they're not tall enough. I wanted to put a slight arch in the top to kind of match the other gate. And 2, I need to add a lot more little branches so they can have lots of overlap to kind of strengthen the whole thing up, since they don't have a top bar to weld to. But this was fun, much easier than the first one. Here it's all welded up. You can see the slight arch across the top where I cut the ends off. I primed both this piece of steel and the gates with a very heavy bodied epoxy primer, and really made my welds look a lot better. Complete, and after the 3rd try I think we have a color that we're going to live with, and this little fill on top of the fence is complete. This one was more fun to make than the gate. I ended up, in the beginning I was pre-bending the steel, and I ended up just like welding a straight piece here that was maybe 3 or 4 feet long and heating and bending it in place, and came out okay. The gate, I have a latch that works just fine. The gates swing either way. This latch has a place where I could lock it. My slide bolt works just fine. The inside. Now this was plants. I dug them all up. I'll have to put some sort of surface here that won't stay muddy. This is just a simple little fence. I built a simple little access gate right here. Here's a latch I made for the little gate. Simple as it can be. I'm a woodworker at heart, but I love these little metalworking projects where I just get some scrap out the junk pile and make something useful, and in an hour it's done. These are really fun. So I said this when I finished my other pair of gates, and I'm going to say it again. There are certainly easier ways to make gates that take much less time and effort, but no regrets. It's a nice project. It was interesting to do, and I can have a little smile on my face every time I look over here in the corner of the yard.